Voices of the World, Episode 6, Femi.
Okay, so welcome to Voices of the Word. This is Asoka Esuruoso, visual artist and filmmaker, and I'm here with my good friend.
Miltos, Despoudis. I'm a visual artist and a painter.
And?
Hey, I'm Femi Oyewole. I am a multidisciplined artist, and I'm also the founding director of The.Word.Berlin.com.
Great. And so this is actually our first podcast ever. We're very excited.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
And yeah, so I just wanted to ask you just a few questions first about like, who are you? You know, who's Femi?
Yeah, great question. So I studied as a dancer. No, it's so interesting. Who are you? Because like, it's not what you've done and what you've done. It's who are you? Yeah. I am Femi, and I am very fascinated by many things in life. I am a black man, a black cis male, and I grew up in a Nigerian heritage. Okay.
Where?
In London.
Okay.
So, and so what I mean by that is I was born in Nigeria, moved to London when I was 1 year old, and my parents are Nigerian basically. So when you grow up in
mini Nigeria,
exactly, in the house, yeah. When you're inside the house, it's Nigeria. Outside, it's London.
Else,
exactly. And who am I? I am someone who just likes to ask questions and wonder a lot, and try to look at the world in different perspectives, as many perspectives as I can possible. Nice. You know, and I'm still ignorant. I'm still learning a lot of stuff, and I try to be a giver as well as active in just things that I don't think, or just things that I think that could be done better or shouldn't be there, or so
that are interesting.
Yeah, that are interesting. Yeah. So here am I. I'm a gardener. That's what I like to say. Femme de la Femme de Gardener, which is Instagram personally.
Okay. So you want to see how things grow, you know? Like,
so yeah, I think we're all gardeners. I think we are all gardeners as human beings. I think we're all gardeners. I think we are all given with tools and gifts in different ways, and some of us are seed planters, some of us are weed pullers, some of us water, some of us are just supposed to be there just to support in the pastures. You know, some of us is the sunlight. Yeah. You know, it can go for like, and some of us continue to change around. You know,
and where do you feel like this comes from? This exploration, like, is there anything in your upbringing in London that you could kind of like pinpoint?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, I grew up in a Christian household. Yeah, and but I developed my own relationship with Jesus myself actually when I was around 10 years old. Okay, and just kind of like get into question like. Just spirit and things outside of myself, and in that form, it was the form of not white Jesus, but the form of Jesus, the name, but being a being that was a reflection of God in human being, and that was always interesting to me because there's a verse in the Bible that says, Jesus says, "My people after me will do even better than me. You know, they do greater things than me." And I always had this feeling of like, oh, we have so much power that we still have to access, you know, and so all of that, and that curiosity that led me close to this relationship with God was the curiosity. Really, I just asked questions. I just kept on wondering why certain things that were being said in some churches were not being said in some other churches, and how much of it was someone else's own personal opinion as opposed to actually what God said, you know. And from that, it allowed me to explore, just allow me to have the feeling of exploring things that just interest me on a physical basis in terms of eyes. Like I'm interested in visual things, you know, just whether it's buildings or art or interior design, or whether it's maps, but not necessarily maps, but like walking and getting lost and finding new things. And London, for me, for sure, has the way the geography of London is. It's very, it's not like New York where it's very gridded, let's say that. So you can kind of get lost in London and find a different pathway and not end up on the same kind of square or anywhere. You can find a little hidden park here and there, or
because it's so old,
so
and all
old,
of the layers
yeah,
one on top of the other.
exactly.
So
You know,
the city has transformed over
continuously,
hundreds of years.
And it was just one of my things. I don't know. I guess just this wondering thing was like, I want to know London because I live in London. So I want to know London like at the back of my hand. And I took that from a young age and decided to start doing that and exploring that, and learned how to get from South London to North London on a bike. But like, what was the quickest way, you know, and how I could do that, and how, you know, how I could do it on a bike or on a moped, on a car, and walking, you know, and it's just kind of that exploration allowed me to, it just allowed me to wander. And I got to know all of London, you know, in the best. And it's always changing forever, for sure. Of
course, it's a very dynamic city.
Yeah, so dynamic, yeah. But it's very, there's so many hidden things, which is now getting found out. But it's amazing to be like, oh, I always knew about that. I didn't know, people didn't know about that, you know. And then now people are knowing. So it's like, cool. That's really cool. Yeah.
And what about dancing? Like, how did you get into that?
I studied dance in secondary school.
Okay.
High school junior. And they always offered it to us as from when you were 12 years old to, I think, 14. It was always like part of the PE, physical education course. And so I was always interested in it and interested in other things. And there was a time that we had to choose our GCSEs, basically, where we chose like 5 subjects or something. So it was maths, English and science. And then I chose business, history, IT, ICT, and then religious studies. And also I chose PE, physical education. And then originally, and but I loved all my subjects that I studied. I loved dance as well, and I learned that physical education was nothing physical. It was just all science based.
Okay. And
I was like, nah, I don't really want to do that. And so my dance teacher was like, you should do dance. I think you'd be great, you know. And he, I think subconsciously subconsciously for me, he influenced me in a way because he's a male dancer, a male black male. As well.
Okay. So, which is not very common, or is it?
Yeah, I guess it wasn't common at my age, you know.
Okay.
And so seeing him do stuff and being like, oh, that's cool, like, you know, and I studied it. And while we were studying dance, we were studying history of dance and the history of Black people in dance. Oh, not even the history, but just studying Black people in dance. And there was kind of like only one representation, which was a company called Alvin Ailey in America. Yeah. And we were studying this in Britain. So it always fascinated me, again, just wondering, like, why isn't there any other representation? You know, and of course, I didn't literally ask that question, but I did ask, like, why is there no other Black British dancers?
Or a group of equal quality to Alvin Ailey.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would make so much sense,
in these study books that we're studying, you know.
Okay.
And so I, kind of in a business mindset, I was like, oh, there's not something there. I want to be the first one. So then I decided to like go further to study, and then that's cool. Of course, as I studied furthermore, you know, the information comes. You're like, oh, actually, there's been so many, and there are so many, you know.
But the history is buried. That's the
exactly. The history is not accessible.
Untold stories.
Yeah, exactly. So from there, it led me to college called the Brit School, and then from Brit School went to a university called London Contemporary Dance School, and I studied, and I loved contemporary dance. But while I was studying, I used to study a lot of different styles of dance outside, and then I started working into physical theatre, and I really enjoyed that. And
where did you start? Like, what was your entryway?
My first job after university was a company called DV8 Physical Theatre.
Okay,
and they were quite a big name, and still are a respected name in the industry. They were a name that I actually had studied when I was younger. And then it was like kind of legendary to be part of this legendary company, basically, which was incredible, which was awesome, you know. And then after that, it led me to a few other jobs here and there. And I played music at the same time because I enjoyed music growing up in church, and I also create events because I enjoy events. I was just doing stuff because I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it led me into a job with Blue Man Group, which was just like audition process, just come in and audition. So I just was like, my cousin.
So where did you actually see the original ad?
So it's interesting. Yeah, when I was in university, I guess they were in London at the time, and I saw like a short video of them, and I just saw drumming, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I want to be part of that. But I didn't see, it was like a 1 minute clip. I didn't really see what they were about.
Okay.
And they were quite mysterious at the time. I mean, still are.
Mm-hmm.
And then my cousin, aka best friend, Raphael Shawala, who's a great actor, he goes to he went to a drama school.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent the drama school, like the audition ad. And he saw it and he just remembered and he sent it to me, literally. And it was just an open call. Anyone can come. And that's what they do. So I was like, yeah, okay, let's go check it out. I went to check it out and did like a 3-day process of auditions and
wow, okay.
Got through. And did you
even really think that you were going to get it? Like when you went, did you think that, oh, well, yeah, maybe I'll try it and we'll see what happens? But you know how sometimes you try things even though you think you're going to fail?
I mean, I think with me, I never think I'm going to fail.
Okay, never.
But I think I'm going to, but I do go with the approach of, if this is interesting to me, I'll keep going with it.
Yeah. And
then to be offered like the position to go to New York to train,
mm-hmm.
I think I always work in any audition. I work to a point of view where I'm going to do the best I can so that I can choose if I want this or not.
Okay.
I can choose if they can have me or not.
Okay.
And that was the confidence I had, not on a daily basis, but when I hit an audition, like it wasn't, I wouldn't push anyone away. I wouldn't like be negative to anyone, but it was just the attitude of my mental attitude to make sure that I was not going to give anyone an excuse for why they couldn't choose me, and the only reason why they couldn't choose me would be something I can't change. Physical parents, mainly, maybe because I'm Black or because, I'm too tall or this and that. That stuff I can't change. Yeah. But everything else, it was my aim to always, try to slay as possible, So in being in it, so I guess to answer your question, funny enough is I didn't know that it was going to New York. I thought it was for a show in London. So after the training audition 3 days, they cut people down and then they were like, hey, yeah, you're going to New York. And I was like, oh, what for? And they're like, oh, for the training, you're about to train to be a blue man. And I was like, that's amazing. You guys are paying? They're like, yeah, totally. So it was incredible and then what they do, they send you off for a 2-month training. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like a 2-month audition also. It's kind of like they cut people, and you're working hard again. So, and coming from a dance background as well and going into that physical theatre, but more so acting world, which I had done some of, this was very much like, new world, but also like a new challenge. And I've been, in all my career, I've been pushed into new challenges all the time. So I started to decide that, okay, God just wants me to be someone he can just manipulate myself into different situations, And so then I got through and I worked with them in the States for a few years.
So what are you doing in Berlin?
I mean, kind of leading up to that, I work for Blue Man Group in Berlin as a blue man. So that's my main role of why I'm here, because they offered me opportunity to be here. So.
And how long have you been?
I've been here 3 years now. And alongside of that, I run Berlin, which has been born for 6 months now, 7 months now.
Nice. So
you can check out blackbrownberlin.com.
Yeah.
So
eventually that was the idea that we reached there. Well, it was actually, I was interested because again, the Blue Man Group is kind of mythic in a way. I just remember when I was younger, much younger, I think maybe even a teenager, I can't remember.
Yeah, sure.
Going to see them perform in Boston. And again, part of the whole myth was that you didn't know who was behind the paint, this blue paint.
Right.
Which was actually quite interesting because, again, now you realize you also don't know the ethnicity or of the person. You don't know you just see them on stage.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was really interesting when we first met. I remember when Ria brought you by and we had our conversation. I'm like, and then you said that you're part of the Blue Man Group. It was kind of like, oh my God, someone without the mask is telling me, that they're part of this almost, this mythic organization. And I'm just interested in the process, basically. Like, what was it like when was it 100 guys or?
Sure. Yeah, I can let you know.
Also, like a boot camp for Blue Man?
Yeah, kind of, basically. I mean, wait, before I answer that, I have one question for you. Did revealing myself, I guess, make it less mythic for you in terms of make Blue Man less mythic for you? Or make your experience?
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, it doesn't matter if it has as well. I was interested. I wonder, like.
Yeah, no. It doesn't
change your experience that you remember.
Maybe it's because for me, again, being a filmmaker,
sure. Yeah.
I love just seeing behind the scenes.
Yeah, totally.
And even if I see what happens behind the scenes to create something, to create the story, as we were saying, it doesn't destroy the story for me.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
No,
that's amazing.
So actually seeing you then behind the scenes, it just adds another layer to the Blue Man. And now I'm just interested in your experiences that I would never get any other way.
Sure, yeah, totally.
So
totally. Yeah. I mean, so the initial audition, the one in London that I went to, I don't know how many people were there, but that's an open audition. So there's lots of people there, and they're just seeing, I don't know if it's 50 to 100 people, or they're just seeing lots of people for sure. And you do group auditions. Then it cuts down and keeps cutting down. And I think it cut down to like 12 people.
And was it your dancing ability that they were basing everything on?
No, this is all acting based. Acting based.
Really?
Or clowning / mime / all of that within the genre of acting.
Okay.
So my experience was they gave you a few tasks, to fulfill, and you just try to fulfill that task, And
can you give an example?
Yeah, a good example would be one I remember was like, okay, so it's okay. You were just in a car crash, and you just been taken out of this car that was about to burn, and you want to say thank you to people who took you out, And then you see someone, and that was the person who took you out of the car, and you want to show real gratitude, Do that with no speaking, and try to do that with less physical action, just in your eyes. How would you do that, And so, because the eyes are the communication in Blue Man, amongst many things. So that was one. That's one I remember.
You literally had to stand there with your eyes, trying to be like,
just focus.
You just saved my life.
Yeah.
How did I?
Because what makes Blue Man funny is
different,
and different, is the process that's going in the mind, the ticking, and when you see actor ticking in their mind, you start to like, I don't say ticking, but you see the thought process. Then you start to see like. Either the humor or the story that they're trying to tell, and even or it allows you to create as an audience member to create a story, because you see something's happening, and so that was the kind of audition process. And then when you get sent to New York, when I got sent to New York, it was 5 of us, and it's a 2-month process, and this time we're learning a part of the show. I think this training was the second week we got there. You're in a show already, doing like half of a show, and you had to just learn the show and learn the character, because what they're trying to train you for is a character, and the character is you, so there's elements of the character. There's like 6 kind of things, like the shaman, the clown, the joker, the innocent, the scientist, the hero. And these are kind of like color palettes, as you would say. And they all feature in different ways throughout the show for different roles.
And this is also all non-verbal,
all
right?
Non-verbal,
That's the key. So that you, as the actors on stage, or as the bodies on stage, you're embodying the shaman, the clown.
Exactly.
But from the audience, we don't know, except for your physical movements, what you're trying to invoke, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is
and they all what's the word I'm for? intersect with each other, you know, because there might be one scene where one character might be more of a hero than the other, but it's not like, oh, I'm a hero now. It's more like, oh, I just got this done. You know, look at this, it's amazing. You know, so it varies, and all of that intersects. Sorry, and so the training consists of trying to build. Basically, I like to say everyone has a blue person in them. Everyone, you know, and there has been a blue woman before, and there's been some people audition and stuff, and even in my audition, there's a lady who got through, and she went to the training, and it didn't go so well for her in the future, but it's great that they're just open to everyone. But the idea is that everyone's got a blue person inside them. You know, this curiosity, this playfulness, this kind of clowny, this kind of hero, this you know, shaman kind of, like, we all have that, you know, and this show kind of allows it to really explore that in the script that it has, you know, which is a lot of improvisation, but there is a point A and there's a point B in order for this show to work, you know.
Yeah, so you're still heading in that direction.
How you get there changes every day. Changes with the audience, changes with the band, changes with the roles.
Every day, really? Like,
I mean,
is all improv or no? In a way?
No. Like. So what I mean by, so there's always a point A and point B.
Okay.
And how you get there, is up to you.
Okay.
So often every day, you know. I mean, and there's, as you do, often you figure out certain ways that work. And you're like, oh, that works well. But then you get challenged to push that thing that works and be like, okay, how else can you do this? Yeah,
because you're interacting with at least two other people on stage,
always,
right? How they act or where they are on a specific day will completely change the script.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, so you have to be on your feet the whole time, basically.
Yeah, mentally. We try to flock, we try to be together, we try to listen to each other in a higher sense of listening.
And how does that play out like off stage? Basically,
there's a closeness that's already there. Some of the first shows I've done with people that didn't know them, we just did shows and were in each other's faces, like as if we were friends for a long time, you know. And it kind of comes back to that in the changing room, like you start to become friends. It's a very family feeling Blue Man made originally, anyway, and it's kind of kept that feeling for sure, especially amongst the Blue Men, you know, and the band. So it kind of plays off in that way, you know, and
Do you feel like you would still keep in contact with Blue Men that have left the show?
Yeah, I still have. I still in touch with those I've played with before and who are not doing it, and there's, you know, some contact there for sure, and it just varies from where you are in life, etc. People live in different spaces, different places around the world. You know, I just spoke to someone who's in Canada at the moment. You know, just catching up. You know, so
that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I guess the next question would be, how does this play into your gardening? Because you're talking about So the gardener of the soul, the gardener of the
I mean, I guess like Blue Man, Blue Man's my job and it's my moneymaker, I guess. But I'm fortunate to be living from the entertainment world and the creative world, I guess. So how does it play into gardening? It plays in a way of a form of allowing me to play, you know, playfulness, allowing me to explore within the boundaries of that's given me, like explore and improvise in new ideas. Yeah. And just activating that muscle allows me to continue to use that muscle outside of Blue Man, I guess, and start thinking about things in different perspectives, you know, and approaching things, and they're kind of like always interrelated, you know. There's me, Femi, and my Blue Man character. They're always very closely connected.
Who's also Femi?
Yeah, he's also Femi, right? But like, it's not like this off character that might just be like, you might have Hugh Ledger and Joker, you know. But actually, what makes that scene, that character so amazing is that you can really see like parts of Hugh Ledger in that, you know, and even if you don't know who Hugh Ledger is, you know, so it's just like you could. So whatever's happening on your day-to-day basis affects that, you know, etc. So how does that come into gardening? Yeah, just activating that muscle, I guess, and you know, allowing yourself to approach things with that kind of skill, perspective, maybe some tools that I might have not had before, and I can have tools this way. And
it brought you to Berlin?
Brought me to Berlin, yeah, exactly.
Would you have come any other way?
I've been here just to visit, but I don't think I was thinking about living here ever. I didn't think it came to mind to live here. I thought, oh, yeah, it's cool. Berlin's cool. I like it. Yeah. So, and to be here, it was even in my first year, I was like, I don't know how long I'm going to be here for, and it's 3 years now. So, don't know how long again. We'll still be here, but we're just living, we as in me and my girlfriend, we're just living our day to day. We're citizens of the world. So, but you're right, it brought me to Berlin.
It brought you here.
And in Berlin, it brought me to Blackbound Berlin,
Exactly.
And the Word Cafe,
Exactly.
So, and seeing amazing people doing amazing stuff and trying to learn how we can support it.
That's really great. I mean, and that's then the next.
How did you meet? Where did you meet?
Where did we meet?
Yeah.
We met here. Actually.
Yeah, at a Word Cafe.
Yeah. I was having a meeting with Ria from. I just don't want the thing to. I was having a meeting with someone else, and she was supposed to have a meeting with Femi, and they kind of.
That's right. Yeah.
Showed up.
That's right. Yeah.
And then the conversation went from there.
Yeah, we just like, and I had heard about the Word Cafe for a while through Felicia, and
that's right. So it's
so Felicia,
yeah.
And she kept on just saying the story of like my friend, she like got this cafe or got this place, and then we like made it herself, and and it's black owned as well, and so it was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, I want to see this place. I want to
because we need more spaces like this.
Gosh.
More spaces where they're again black and brown owned.
Yeah, totally.
Also my business partner is trans.
Okay.
So also from this LGBTQ community as well. This is what's missing in Berlin.
I mean, that's not white male. Basically, it'd be awesome, as well, because it's just so covered up sometimes. So
definitely is.
And what we do at Blackbound Berlin is we try to support just everyone doing amazing stuff.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to get into that. Okay. Because my next question was actually going to be what your next steps are. Like in your mind, what you feel like, where are you heading to? Let's say
me personally.
You personally. Okay. So you've taken these tools from the Blue Man Group, right? Yeah. And where do you see yourself in like 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, taking those tools from Blue Man Group, taking those tools from just career in general and stuff. I actually don't know this at this moment. I usually am good at like, this is what I want to get to. This is what I want to do. But some stuff I do or I think about is maybe living in another space in the world somewhere. That might be more black, brown, populated. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm and warmer. I definitely feel like my skin just does amazing stuff in the sun. It really does.
This sun does not appreciate it.
Yeah,
the German sun is not really.
And just from my experience living in Orlando, living in on a cruise doing like Italy Mediterranean tour, and just seeing how my skin really reacts and just my body reacts, I'm like, oh, I really think I need to listen to this. So I think maybe somewhere warmer, but being there with my girlfriend, hopefully wife one day, with kids one day, and I guess being in a brown populated area for the sense of my children, so they could grow up in that kind of society and
knowing
feel
who they are,
and feel the normality of what it is to be a person of color. The normality of it, because sometimes it can, in spaces like Germany, it can be pointed out, like, oh, you're black, and just that, not that it wouldn't be anywhere else, but I'm always intrigued in the mental mindset. What would that look like? What would I be like if I didn't grow up in London? London is.
Do you feel like in London that like blackness is extraordinary, or do you feel like it's?
No, it's quite regular happening for sure.
Yeah.
But I think, and it's very present there for sure, So I think London's also another space that's cool. But, even now as I go back and I look at just little things like the market, I'm very interested in marketing, like psychology of it. And just when I look at like the marketing materials on the underground or, even on TV, and just ask that question, like, wait, how many people look like me and what are they doing? You know, and specifically, what are they doing? Because if they're not in entertainment, in some kind of music, dancing, acting, or they're not sports, then you might get one token
Black
person for like science, maybe, and then or maybe for business, but then nothing else like this. And it goes like, oh wow, why is that representation not there? And that's everywhere in a lot of places in the world. But it's just like, I'm very intrigued by representation.
It's changing in Berlin. Have you noticed? Because
slowly.
I've been seeing like more and more images and representation, and it's very often like a dark black individual doing just basically about anything.
Yeah, you know.
And it's changed so dramatically. When I first came to Berlin, I remember I was here for the first year. I saw exactly 2 images of dark black individuals on advertisement.
Right.
In Berlin too.
Yeah, just 2.
You know, and
ridiculous,
so you'd get on the subway, you'd be the only black person on the subway. You see this like sea of white faces, sometimes the only person of color. So even, you know, there's not even another Turkish or Arabic, nothing else.
Persian,
And then from within the sea of whiteness to see yourself represented through advertising or media just twice, it was just... it causes a disconnect somewhere.
Right, and that's what I'm so interested in, like with, you know, with children specifically, like what does that do, or just even myself, what has that done to my subconscious mind to grow up in not seeing representation of myself, you know, even in a place like London, like, and what has that done to me, or not, what's the effect of that, you know, and how does one, you know, continue to change that? And people are shifting that for real. And this is why I'm like, I think I want to move to a place where my kids, at least at the beginning, can. And it's interesting because like a lot of my friends, I have a very mixed ethnicity of friends, you know, community, which is I love and amazing. So like the one answer is that you know, my friends, my community is the reflection of the world I want to see. And the world that I would love my children to see, you know, and so they will know that. The other answer is then like, you know, sometimes, you know, taking, which my dad did a lot with us and I never got till now, you know, taking your children, you know, to Nigeria, you know, and just seeing what a black president.
Did you actually go to Nigeria?
Yeah, I've been to Nigeria a few times, like 3 times as a child, and I haven't been as an adult, and I would love to go there like soon as an adult just to experience that version my way, you know. Not guarded, basically. But just seeing, like, you know, Trevor Noah said, like, a black president is a normal thing there, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's just a normal thing.
It's not questioned.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not questioned at all.
So all of these kind of subconscious things. Because of all of that all adds into why stuff like that, like Black Berlin, talking about the gardening, the storytelling, right? Black Berlin, for me, it's just another version of me trying to... tell a story.
Exactly. And also if you're talking about the missing image of you in the media,
right, there you go.
Missing image of you represented in the general streets of the city,
just in general,
just in general. And so then it's kind of like, so then how do you fill that void? And it's not that there aren't black people here,
right? Exactly.
You know, because we are here, and it's not that there are not brown people here, because they are here,
exactly.
But it's like, how do we connect? Because again, the communities are so they're actually quite small, but at the same time very separate.
Yeah, that's what I found here, and I thought, and again, like everything you just said, and I keep hearing this thing: information is liberation. Information is liberation. Sorry, information is liberation. And it was that. It was like the communities are there, but they're small, but kind of separate. You know, and it's like that was the one thing that I was missing a lot. It's like, how comes like my friends who come here don't know about this or that, or why is it so hard to find out about this or this and that? And Black Berlin was kind of
different events across the city. So
different events across the city. It really came from like even before that, just food.
Really,
it really came from like, where can I find, you know, spices that I can just make, you know, food? Yeah, literally. Where can I get them, you know? And some of the Turkish shops did have them, but then not the ones I needed. I was like, where can I find it? It really came from that. Or where can I find a barber? It really came from, I said, that information. Just information that
again, as a black man looking for a barber, you have to have someone who's good,
who's good and something specific, you know? Yeah. So it's just like, it's like, that was me in the first year, and first 2 years. And I'm usually, personally, pretty good at finding things in a city because of the London experience. I'm good at knowing how to like find things and find, like if I find where the skateboarders are, then I usually can find where the dancers are and find out where the music, you know what I mean? You can start to find. But here it was kind of, that was my kind of technique. Like you can kind of, every time I went on tour, once I did that, I always found the kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I've just gone past me. But the people who are not in the popular demand, anyway.
The counterculture and the
subculture, the subculture, the people who are just.
So you kind of like in your own mind create this web from traveling so much.
Like,
so somehow skateboarders are connected with dancers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So and then skateboarders, you know, who are doing it, you know, are connected with all different types of music for sure, you know. And but usually you find skateboarders found spaces that can be used that no one else is using, and it might just be recycled spaces. And sometimes you find dancers who use that same space to rehearse because they don't want to pay for studio space, you know. And sometimes they're interlinked, sometimes they're not, you know. Sometimes you can ask someone like, hey, wait, what kind of music are you listening to? If it's something you're into, where can I go to check it out? Because then they're usually going for stuff that's authentic, you know. And skateboarders is really interesting because they always work hard, you know. They're continuously working on this one trick, continuously. Which
is something that, you know, people, opposite of what people usually think. When they think of skateboarders, they think, they're slackers.
They're slackers, etc. Yeah.
They don't want to work.
Yeah,
they don't wanna, you know.
But the persistence on this trick that has been done, but yet still working again and again. Just the ollie, you know, which is I guess a basic trick that I can't do. That, you know, it's just fascinating to me. You know, like again, they are seen as I don't know, rebels, or there's another word I'm looking for, of society, but actually they are very talented, and you know, and that's how I feel about me generally, and that's how and people I follow, just like, you know, the underdogs, you know, the people who don't need to always be the orange flame, let's say that, the ones that you see, but there's a blue flame, you know, one you don't see that's very bright, you know, but very hot, but you don't see it, you know.
And this is where, so you're looking for the Jamaican restaurant that would lead to the good barber.
Yeah, exactly, trying to find a web of things, and it was just that information. And then a friend of mine from London introduced me to a friend in Berlin, and then that's like a lady called Maureen, aka Mo, and she's amazing. She knows all the like event spots generally, because she's an event organizer in Berlin. She's been here longer than I have. And so she started introducing me to stuff that was happening. And I was like, man, this information shouldn't be so hard for anyone to find. And I just kept on saying to her, hey, you should make this website. You should make this website.
Of course, that's what we say to everyone else. Yeah, right? We don't want to do it. We're just like,
you'd be great.
Oh, you're amazing. You're a friend of mine. Yeah. Can you please come and do my dream?
Yeah, you should. Well, like, I mean, I really, originally, it wasn't, I guess I had the dream, but it wasn't, I really didn't think it was for me. I thought that was that whole gardening thing. Sometimes seeds are there that's not for you, it's for someone else, you know. So I really thought it was for someone else. And last year, people just kept on asking me, as I DJ, and people kept on asking me, hey, where can we find your music? Where can we go for parties like this? Where can we go? And my good friend Maiwa was like, you need to make this website. Like, you need to, and I was injured. It's all timing. I was injured at the time, so I had time, and just made a website. So coming back to the question that you asked about future, all of that stuff when I talk about kids, Black person, etc. But I do also see Black Brown Berlin being an entity, like, you know, maybe Black Brown Universe, where we have different cities that you know are not so well known in the world, or. But there are Black people there who are present, you know.
And then we heard like people Black Brown New York, Black Brown Chicago.
Yeah, maybe not New York, because New York's already present, already there, and people already know. But even more so like Black Brown Vienna, people who are reaching out to us a lot. Vienna, Hamburg, Switzerland, Zurich, Marseille, France. You know, spaces that are Romania. Someone's reached out and like, hey, can we have this here? You know, and I kind of foresee that, God willing, if we get the support we can get. I see that happening with us. I see us being that and being able to be in cities, and, you know, and I'm really conscious of not necessarily taking over cities, but really being in a city and supporting it. supporting the people who are there.
Well, you just want to create the network.
The network,
like the web.
Connection. Yeah, exactly.
You know, so the spaces already exist.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just creating that like a little spider's web.
There
like
you go. Yeah, so you know where to access. You can access one thing, you get to the next thing. You know?
Exactly.
And highlighting amazing, like yourself as one of them, highlighting amazing people who are doing amazing stuff here already. You know, always trying to support that. You know, and just being like, we don't need to do this. Is people doing stuff amazing already, like you said, the web. So we're just trying to give information to make sure that people are liberated. You know,
definitely.
So in I don't know, 5-10 years, if Black Berlin's growing so rapidly, amazingly, you know, with followers and subscribers, Black Berlin is doing so great rapidly. It's like moving fast, a lot of visitors, a lot of followers, and
how many followers or visitors?
At the moment, we have this number 700 followers on Instagram, and we have up to like 1,500 visitors on our website.
Which is for 6 months?
Yeah, just 6. Yeah, that's what I'm basing it off. That's
pretty good.
It's a baby, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, I wanted to just ask, in one sentence, how would you describe Black Berlin?
Information is liberation.
Okay. But I mean, like in general.
Oh, if I want to describe it to someone else.
So again, for someone who has no idea about what Black Berlin is, how would you describe it?
We are a directory of events, providing information of quality events and safe spaces for Black and brown people in Berlin or coming to Berlin.
And if they want to find you just Google?
Yeah, you can Google us, or you can go to the website straight away, which is www.blackbrownberlin.com. You can find us on Instagram, Black Brown Berlin. Those are the 2 outlets we're using mainly at this moment.
Nice. We will put it on the footnotes also.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, if someone wants to, like an event organizer or a space, if they want to get in contact with you, how does that work?
Please go to the website at blackbrownberlin.com, and we have a contact page there. I say that because our emails will be changing, so go to the contact page and you can contact us there. You can give us a shout through the Instagram, and we'll probably tell you the same thing to reach us on the email that we'll give to you. And please reach out. We can't, we're at the moment a team of 3 of us and then external volunteers. So we don't know everything that's happening, and we want to find out. We want to make sure we have the information for anyone who is Black and brown and they're into heavy metal music, and they want to know where to go that's safe, We want to make sure we get that information so they can know where to go, even if they might be the only one or not. We want to make sure that information is available to them, And I'm just using that as an example of like making sure we reflect a multi-dimensional people,
Okay.
That's really what's important to us. It's not, you're Black and brown, cool. Like we all have our nuances, but making sure we reflect a multi-dimensional people is so important to me.
Definitely.
How did you start? Like you said, like 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Basically, when the world actually
the same
opened?
time, yeah.
December.
Oh, when you kind of
so
launched out.
Both,
and
we
I want to know
at the same time.
When you started the first week or the first month, what it was? How difficult was it?
I think it was a time in December, the ending of December, where I'd been thinking about this website for a while. I was like, oh, this would be cool. So I did it. And then someone kept on asking. And then I think it was near the end of December where I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And with me, once I kind of like say I'm going to do something or have my mind set on something, I kind of start having ideas of how it could look like. And I think it's just in the week, I can't remember, maybe it was the last week of December. Last week of December, where I decided, what would make it user friendly for me? I always try to just like, what would be the best thing that I need, And for me, it was like, I just need to be able to look at the website and find out what's happening, what date, where to go, how much is it going to be, and that was literally what I decided to do. So I used Wix.com, plug-in Wix now that we're not getting paid for, but I used that or any site because I thought they were the best one for what I was trying to do, and they had some templates that I was looking at, and with that it helped me design the idea of what we're trying to do, just to make it clear, make it and accessible, and again, like we provide the information that's already out there. We produce some of our own events as well, but we mainly provide information that's already out there and try to become like a number one recommended site, you know. And what's really important, I guess what makes us different is from anything else at the moment is we are focused on safe spaces, you know, and quality events. So we really try to make sure we go to vet out events, you know, we try to listen to what people are saying and get feedback from people and to see if they felt safe, you know, in this space, you know, and if they felt okay, they felt like they could be there with their friends, they felt even if they were the only one, would they go back again? You know, like we really try to make sure that these spaces are spaces that we can say, yeah, you can go there, you're going to have a great time. You're not going to be bothered for being black and anything else, you know, or brown or anything else. So that's kind of how it is. I think I made it in 3 days, I think the website was. And then it took a lot of some researching, data entry stuff. And then I guess I think technically I launched it in January, but and even when I launched it in January, I just emailed a lot of all of the event organizers here in Berlin, and just let them know like this is a new website, this is what we do.
How did you meet with the event organizers?
I emailed them. Because I knew.
I think I actually got an email from you.
Right. Okay.
Or maybe a Facebook message or something. I didn't even know who you were, but you're like, so we're starting this new group.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. So
and if you have an event, then send it our way. Yeah, that was basically
you know, and how I met like event organizers. I already knew of them from events I've been to and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was kind of recommended events I had been to already. And then events that people were going to already, you know, such and such, so that I knew of. And so then I emailed people and said, you know, blah, 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 we are Berlin, this is what we do, such and such. And also we will expose you if there's any event that people have been abused or harassed in, you know, we will challenge you on that, and such, you know. And that was one of the things that, you know, would kind of differentiate which people would get back to us and be like, that's amazing, cool, or which people were like, oh, actually, I'm scared, I don't want to be part of this, you know. So, and that was usually the events that people wouldn't go to anyway, you know. So, I mean, with the word, I kept on hearing about you, I guess, and then, I don't know, I just was like, oh, this is cool, I need to message you. And, you know, it's so funny because even when I remember writing a message, I was like, I don't really need to write this for you, but I should just write as a general because I don't know you yet, and like, and then
it was good. It was good because I think I did send you some events after that. I'm like, oh, could you post this? Could you post that?
Yeah, totally. You know, and I try my best to meet the people behind, you know, the scenes. You know, so they know it's not all online. Like we know a face to the name. You know, you can see a face to the name, and just have a human interaction. You know, and then from there I can get to see what people are about as well, because it's not like, you know, we have white allies. You know. And it's like important to recognize allies of all different, you know, color, even though we're black, brown focus. The idea is hopefully that it's safe enough. If it's safe enough for us as black and brown people, then our allies also can feel safe, you know, in that. But that's not our primary goal. Our primary goal is black and brown people for sure, you know. But not disregarding any allies at all, but making sure that allies feel that they can support, you know, in the ways they can too, you know, because we all need each other out here.
This is really good. This is really good. And then it moves on to the next step, because we have been talking about having a certain event here as well, based on that. So do you want to come give details about that idea?
Yeah, so I had this idea of like, so with meeting all these organizations, amazing people doing amazing stuff, creating partnerships with different organizations like My Urbanology or GLAD, EV, Afropolitan, and I've just Flourishing Circle, and Africa Avenir. We have partnerships with them at the moment, and then we are just good friends with like Each One Teach One, The Word Cafe. Who else am I missing? I might be missing some more. These are examples, for example. And I had this idea of like, it'd be nice where we could all be in one space, you know, and represent our own individual organizations. But members of the public could come in and see those faces, you know, and see who we are as people. And also these organizations can meet each other in person if they haven't met each other already, you know, just to know who's who, you know, like, you know, knows who's who. So Asoka was very kind to say that we could do that at her space, the World Cafe in the date's changed now, but September some point.
Yeah,
somewhere.
It's September.
Yeah, and we're still, looking into that to see how we want to do it, and and then actually, I mean, even now we're talking, I was thinking maybe it could, I don't know, maybe it could even just be a dinner with just the organizations, even if it's just that.
I think there are multiple different ideas. But
exactly.
Yeah, this kind of meetup of event organizers and the organizers of different spaces. So just kind of a meet and greet. I think it's just it's key because again, it's creating further that network.
Exactly. Yeah, well said. And I mean, and this is me. I'm here for 3 years. I don't know if it's been done before. Maybe it's done before. I know someone also before me, and I can't remember her name, did a website that was kind of with a calendar of events and stuff, but she had left and gone to America, I think, go back to America. So I know there's been stuff here and done, and maybe some stuff didn't work out, and maybe, I don't know. But
as artists, I remember something key that one of my professors told me was that, again, nothing is new under the sun.
Right.
Anything that we try to do has clearly been done before.
Right.
I'm sure that there are multiple different people around the world creating the wheel at the exact same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And but that shouldn't stop you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I did say that, like, your own perspective is important.
Exactly, because you're always going to, whatever you do, you're going to transform it in some different way.
Exactly, yeah.
So
thank you for that. Thank you. That's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Really great reminder for me personally for some stuff.
So you have some events that you actually liked from Berlin that you saw them or you organized or you helped?
I guess the question would be like, what are some events that kind of inspired you to create the Berlin?
Yeah. That's some of the events itself. Yeah, actually, it's a range of events. Actually, let's start with parties. For example, there's a lot of parties here, Berlin City, Party City. Just kind of find out where I like hip hop and soul music. So it was just like, and I like to dance, like really dance. So trying to find out where people were actually playing like good hip hop music and even just to say that.
Where are people playing good hip hop music?
Whoa,
I want to know.
Yeah, it's the search, isn't it?
It is. So two big questions I would have would be one, because for me, I really love to know what makes someone tick, right? Like what's behind the person, because whoever I'm meeting, whoever I see, this is this person at one stage in their life, and that stage is informed by everything else that came before.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's interesting for me always to know, okay, what are the childhood moments that kind of informed you? But also what are there in our lives, there are always a few key moments that have transformed us.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe first talking about childhood and growing up, and then maybe just one or two key moments that you think have made you the person you are.
Yeah, sure. I think, like looking back, I remember one image of me in elementary school, in primary school. And the teacher caught me. I was just walking around the school, like just wandering around. And I was a bit late to class, like maybe a minute late or something, 2 minutes late. And the teacher was like, Femi, you're always wandering. You're the wanderer. And, I never thought about anything like, since when I was then. But now when I look back, I was like, yeah, actually, that's kind of me, actually. I wonder in a way. I wonder as in WONDER. Like I wonder and my imagination goes, and then I wonder, WANDER, as in physically I do like explore and I'm curious, and I think that has, so that maybe that answers both questions in a way, that always has made me tick in a way of, and so another physical thing then, a thing in reality would be, my relationship with God, and seeing myself grow up in church and also like remember feeling like some of the stuff that some of the preachers I was around would preach, and just ask the question of like, did God really say that, or are they saying that and turning it into? And I don't know what made me feel that. I guess my spirit made me feel that way. So I just decided I was like, I'm just going to read the Bible myself.
Did you?
Yeah. It took me a few years.
It's amazing how few people have especially few very religious people have actually read the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. and
page to page.
Yeah, and that's what fascinated me too. I was like, why is this not normal? So, they say read the Bible, but
what did you find when you read it?
Yeah, I found. I mean, so I also want to do it again as I'm an adult, but I did this when I was like 16 to 18, I would say, and I thought it was fascinating because I was reading it, but I was reading it just like as if it was a book, but I'd taken a lot of information anyway, so I was almost studying it and asking questions and stuff. And I found a few things. I found like there are some chapters of the Bible that I'm just like, I don't need to read this again. And I say that because they're just like Numbers is Numbers just wasn't interesting to me.
Okay.
The chapter's called Numbers is literally about numbers, about how many this and family this, and I was like, oh, this is just that.
So the beget.
Yeah,
section,
exactly.
So beget this,
and his son did this, and I was like, and it's kind of cool knowing this history and stuff, but also it was just like, it's a lot of information, But then I found other things very interesting, like how. Certain models who are used in the Bible were highlighted, and also how their lifestyle was, and how different their lifestyle was too. Like, so let's say someone like King Solomon to a lady called Ruth, or Ezra, or Hezekiah, who was a prophet, and Daniel or David or like big names and small names, just people who were there, and just like how they, like how they all had like just different lifestyles and different cultures, and
of course,
and how God used them still, and wanted to use them, and how they wanted to, even Saul, someone who was like, oh, I got beef with all Christians. I got beef with all Christians, and then turn around and be like, wow, like, actually, I'm like into God all the way through. And just kind of seeing that and being like, wow, like this being called God, like, it's, even the word God for me is like too little of a name, but this omnific thing, that's in us.
Do you actually feel like God? Because, I mean, I was always kind of... I guess I was raised between two worlds, right? So one world was the very religious world of my mother's background, which is in North Carolina. So heavily Baptist, church every Sunday, and Bible studies and everything else like this, and then I was raised also within the realm of my father.
Yeah.
And my father, while he's very spiritual, he's not religious.
Yeah.
And so he was always questioning. I think his questioning caused me to question.
Yes. Yeah? Great. Yeah.
So I think, so the question, I guess I'm trying to find the question I was aiming for.
No,
I lost it. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the Bible, for me, I think it was interesting looking at the fact that there are different versions.
Yeah.
Like if you take the words literally, you can find different versions of it. Because again, you have a lot of interplay within different myths that then reach into the Bible.
Yeah.
So... And I think for me, when I was younger, I was trying to understand, well, who is this being? Like this, the being that my grandmother would tell me is omnipotent, is always there, is always watching.
Sure,
and then, you're wondering as a child, are they watching me when I use the bathroom?
Totally. Innocent questions.
Why would anyone want to do that? This is not...
True.
And then, is this being male or female? Is this being like... So I guess a good question for me would be like, when you imagine this entity, right? Like, what is it that you actually imagine? Is it male? Is it female? Is it... Yeah,
for me, like, it's on different... So I want to say, like, just on something you said, like, in all these questionings and studying and learning the Bible... Still, to this day, I would always ask, like, so what was happening in the world when this was happening? What was happening in history? What was happening in Africa, for example? Blah, blah, blah. And really relate it to, like, my reality. I started to separate religion and spirituality kind of at a young age, and decided that, actually, I'm not into religion, I'm into relationship, And so this entity that I imagined, if I'm really honest, it's really in every form. It really is. Like, there's times where, and I studied a bit further to just understand, like, the formality of angels and the realms of angels, because I also was like, like God can be everywhere, really. Like there must be some helpers, and this idea that also there are times where even our own spirit is on there's a spiritual realm, and our own spirit is also seeing before our physical self, and if we can tap into that a bit, then actually we're kind of in that realm, and I say that all that because like this entity, God being in all forms, is like, yeah, there's times where I felt like, when you say you felt your gut, and for me, when I felt my gut, sometimes, yeah, it was God, sometimes it was an angel, but sometimes it was also like me saying it to me, but like almost like as if my future self could see me telling me like, hey, you should go this way, you should go that way. So I can't say there's like one form, and
like, would you say like also, because I guess like in a way almost like this universal force.
Yeah.
So it has no name, it has no gender. It's
I find it's interesting because I find God to be genderless. However, I have grown up with the idea of father, and so I do understand the concept of why they say that, but I still challenge that because I'm like, as father to then say God is a male, and in the something God made us in His image, etc. I was like, well, I don't know if I necessarily believe in that myself, but I do believe in this ever flowing, ever being taking form in whatever shape, and form, and through, and it's like inspiration. It's like sometimes we might see it. It's like you might see the sofa for ages, all the time, and then just something on a certain day makes you look at the sofa and makes you think of something else that inspires you for something even further. But you've been seeing the sofa for ages. And then sometimes I think of that of God like being like, oh, like right now you've got glasses on, but I'm just going to take off one lens, and...
So the energy of inspiration.
Energy of inspiration, energy of, I think, questioning, constant curiosity. Why? Wisdom begins with what? Why? I think that things, and the spirit of creativity, because I think that's like, and creativity is all in us. Like everyone's got creativity, some of us are working in it, and some of us are not, but we are all, even when we wear clothes, like, well, being creative for ourselves, I think that spirit of creation, being able to create, whatever it is that we're creating, whether it's big forms or small forms, whether it's just food, to create, I think that for me is also the essence, So I guess there's all essence of God, but I can't really tell you like, oh, that's what God is and that's that. It's just like, actually, like, this table came from someone who imagined it and just, or who foresaw this idea that they needed to put something on. I don't know what they came up with, but it came from somewhere, which was then that seed again.
And then that's the seed that you were trying to grow. I go back to,
So
you're trying to grow the seed of creativity.
Yeah, I guess the seed of different seeds. I guess with creativity comes confidence, curiosity, playfulness, encouragement, and belief in self. Belief in that, what you said, everyone might be creating a will, but your will is your will, and it's going to be useful for some people, and it might be useful for 5 or 500.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe less the seed, and the seed or the garden.
Okay.
So it's like the garden of I think trees are beautiful, and trees are so uniquely different, and so then we are all kind of trees, and God is literally the presence of God, and I'm like, there you go. Let's do this.
Okay, this is interesting.
I mean, so now exploration. Yeah.
No, that's a good place to go. That's a good place to go.
Going back to like so many diasporas, even the African diaspora, like a lot of the oceans, and looking at that, and even the Greek gods, and like looking at that, and like, okay, so how do they relate to God? And then other religions, Buddhism and Hinduism and Sikhism, like how does that all relate to God? And these are questions I continuously research and continue to have. I have no one answer.
Of course, I think it's better because if we had an answer, we'd be dead. We'd be done because we're constantly growing, and constantly questioning.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. So
so that's kind of cool. So then, on a final note, where do we find the best hip hop in Berlin?
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was answering, right? I was saying basically in Berlin, I noticed that there is no one place at this moment to go to, which is why I think your cafe is amazing. Because there's not often one place that there are some cafes now popping up, but especially from like hip hop music or something that you're like, I want to go here and just be here and have a good time. There's no one location. There's events that move location. Mm-hmm. And that's what people are following, or DJs that move location. But there's no one location. It's a bit different from London and New York. So I'm very interested to see that develop, and the Word Cafe is a good example of like, if you go to the Word Cafe, you're always going to have a good time.
That's
do you know what I mean?
True.
And that Berlin's missing that, So going through, and so you can go to the Word Cafe by finding that out on Black.Berlin. BlackBoundBerlin.com is really to just help give you information of where these events are moving to, essentially. Okay. And where,
I guess if there are traveling events.
They're traveling events.
Okay, so then what would you say some of the hip hop events to follow then? If we
talk about hip hop, look out for a guy called DJ Stimmy or Stimulus. Mm-hmm. He's part of a crew called Everyday People and Swim Good, I believe. But DJ Stimulus himself is just dope people. Who else? I'm probably going to miss out some, and they're going to, I guess, look out for myself, DJ Femdel FM, because I tend to play gigs that I enjoy, and they usually are hip hop and soul and music. It's a comedy by Maiwa. It's really good for dance parties. Like,
what is this?
It's called It's a Comedy.
Okay.
And she runs a comedy show, which I don't know when the next one might be happening, so the plug might be like irrelevant. But it's really dope. Everyone has a great time, great party. And I'm still finding out more for me personally, But there are some others that are.
What about the hip hop meets? Sorry, what was it? It's like hip hop meets soul, hip hop meets.
Poetry meets soul.
Poetry meets soul.
Oh yeah, poetry. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. That's a very good night as well. Poetry meets soul. Yeah, so that's Poetry Meets, run by Jimike, who's killing the game, and then she does like Poetry Meets hip hop, Poetry Meets soul, Poetry Meets R&B, whatever, and there's always a good time there. Yeah, the DJ's there. There's a DJ called Jay Cloud that I just got onto that I really like. Just a lot of soul funk stuff, but it's really fun. So that's my personal recommendation. Okay. There are other stuff that's good as well, to your own taste. I'm just, I have a few. I'm still looking for those spaces that are like places that I'd be like, yeah, this is where we're going, me and my friends, So the website shows hip hop, but it shows seminars, conferences, film screenings, everything, things for kids, again, multidimensional, it's really what we're trying to do.
Well, I'd like to say personally, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Coming. And thank you for sharing all of your ideas and thoughts, especially your experiences.
Thank you.
Please continue with the gardening, right?
Yeah. Likewise, the storytelling.
Gardening the soul.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. The Word Cafe. We appreciate it.